morning, sir. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Morning, Lavanya. How are you?
I'm good, sir. Thank you.
Lavanya, can you just introduce yourself?
Yes, sir. So my name is Lavanya Gaur. I was born and brought up in Delhi. I have done my BTech in computer science from Indira Gandhi Delhi Technical University. I graduated in 2021. Post that, I worked as a software engineer in Salesforce for about an year. And my father is an executive engineer in Delhi Urban Shelter Improvement Board. My mother is a teacher, and my hobbies include practicing Namjap and gratitude journaling.
Okay. Lavanya, have you read today's newspapers?
Really sorry, sir, not yet.
Okay. If you have not read today's newspaper, there was a very important news regarding a particular achievement made by ISRO,
Yes, sir.
Indian Space Research Organization. Can you just tell us what is that achievement?
Yes, sir. Sir, India has become the fourth country that has demonstrated the docking technology in the space sector. Sir, this is the recent achievement of ISRO. And sir, docking basically means that in the ISRO's recent experiment, there were two subparts like chaser and target, and docking involves the connection of those parts in the space and then taking them apart. So this is kind of a technology demonstration mission which would be helpful in future missions like Gaganyaan or the space station in the space.
Okay, good. Lavanya, an act was passed which is called Nari Shakti Vandan Adhiniyam. Are you aware of that?
Yes, sir.
What was the act about, and when the provisions of that act will come into force?
Sir, Nari Shakti Vandhan Adhiniyam was passed to empower the women in politics. That act included giving representation to women in Lok Sabha as well as in state legislative assemblies. So 33% reservation would be provided to women, and the act would come into force after the first delimitation exercise that would happen in the future.
Delimitation and one more thing.
Sir, after the delimitation exercise and after the census.
Now you belong to Delhi. Now there have been long ongoing feud between the Lieutenant Governor of Delhi and the Chief Minister or the elected government of Delhi. What do you have to say in the view of the constitutional provisions? This dispute, ongoing feud which is going on, is it good for Delhi? Should it happen within the constitutional scheme of framework?
Sir, the 69th Constitutional Amendment Act, it provided a special status of Union Territory, National Capital Territory of Delhi. Sir, we have provisions like Article 239AA, 3 subclause B, wherein it provides that the certain state subjects like police, land and public order, they are under the purview of the central government. Apart from that, most the other subjects can be legislated by the Delhi elected government. However, sir, there is also a provision that in case that the union government feels that it is a need for the union to legislate on other state subjects or other concurrent subjects, then it can do so. However, sir, the recent conflict between the Lieutenant Governor under the central government and the Delhi's elected government is not having a good impact, especially for the people of the Delhi. While it is important for the Delhi's elected government to be responsible to the citizens who they represent, and to ensure the welfare schemes are properly implemented and there are no delays. However, sir, given the status of the Delhi as a national capital territory, there are various we need to ensure the union government's control over the Delhi is important to ensure that the embassies or the buildings that are there, the national security, the law and order condition remains in place, because otherwise it will become an international issue. So, sir, I believe that cooperative federalism is much required to ensure that a proper path is followed between both the governments, and it is in due benefit. It is in larger benefit of the people of the Delhi as well as for the whole government, or for whole India. Sorry.
Your foreign service is your second choice.
Yes, sir.
Let me ask you, what is a very important development which has taken place in the international arena in the last 2 days?
Sir, one is the recent truce deal between Israel and Gaza, which is mediated by Qatar and Turkey and UN. So I believe this is the major important.
Okay. You know, the President Trump is going to be in the saddle on 20th of January.
Yes, sir.
What do you think? You know, he has been making various statements from time to time. Presuming that whatever he has stated will come into effect after he becomes president, his statements are the policies which he has been announcing. Are they going to have an impact on India? If so, what impact will it have?
Yes, sir. Sir, on the economic front, he is seen as a protectionist and has tried and is willing to impose various trade tariffs on countries. However, the tariff on India is not as high as on other countries like China or other. So on the positive side, India can further deepen its economic cooperation with USA, given the large market we already have there. However, the trade tariffs and the earlier actions like the evocation from the generalized system of preferences that has impacted certain sectors like the motorcycles or other automobile sector. So this is one impact on the economic front. Sir, on the strategic fronts, so I believe that in the earlier presidency, Trump has revived the quadrilateral partnership agreement to secure Indo-Pacific region. So, sir, more active participations and further cooperation can be seen in this regard, which is beneficial for India to ensure that China is contained in the Indo-Pacific region. So, thirdly, I believe that Trump has during the Trump's presidency and even the recent the Biden's presidency, the technological and the military defense cooperation has increased between India and USA. So this is mutually beneficial for both India and USA as well. So this is likely to see an enhanced trend. And given the recent initiatives like ICET and the other initiatives, sir, on the issue of immigrants, Trump is skeptical on the H-1B visa, which provides their companies to hire various talented employees from other parts of the world. There have been recent furrows over it. However, I believe any concrete steps on this policy is yet to be seen because it is benefiting USA more than India, I believe, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Kulwant.
Thank you, sir.
Good morning, Lavanya.
Good morning, sir.
So, what is happening in Delhi now, this morning?
So, although I've not read the newspaper, but the Delhi elections have been going on and various political parties have been, like, they are claiming, they are releasing various schemes and they are trying to forge their voter base for the upcoming elections.
Competitive spirit means for announcing freebies.
Yes, sir.
So what else is happening? Why EC had to issue a guideline for the use of artificial intelligence during campaigning?
Sorry, sir, I'm not aware of it, but if I can make a attempt to answer this question.
Yeah, sure.
So basically, artificial intelligence can be used to gather the preferences of the voters based on their data, and this can be used to lure more voter base or make targeted policies or targeted schemes that can have an effect on the free and fair spirit of the elections. So maybe in this regard, the ECI has to pass a guideline.
That is about use of synthetic and artificial intelligence generated videos and campaigning material.
Okay, sir. Sorry, sir.
About that, and of late many people are expressing doubts, concerns rather, not doubts, about artificial intelligence. Now, yesterday Biden also gave a very important statement while delivering his farewell speech. Have you seen this speech or read about it?
Sir, are you talking about the AI export order that has categorized the countries?
No, I'm talking of his farewell speech.
Really sorry, sir.
Also related to this issue of social media and artificial intelligence.
Really sorry, sir. I'm not aware of it.
Are you aware that Meta has now disbanded this fact-checking policy?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, what is that? What is the issue now?
Sir, Meta, the global tech firm, has dismantled the fact-checking units and replaced it with the community notes model that is currently being followed by X. So, sir, the fact-checking units basically consist of independent organizations that check the veracity of any post on social media to ensure that there are efficient curbs on misinformation or disinformation that harms the society. And sir, the recent community notes model, it's a more collaborative space wherein the users can pitch in their thoughts, their views with the proper sources to curb any misinformation. This is the model that has been followed, and yes, sir.
Will it help in curbing hate speech, misinformation, disinformation, or will it aggravate the situation further?
Sir, I believe I'm not in favor of the community notes model as such, because sir, it although it provides a collaborative space for a large variety of audience, but it can lead, because it's crowdsourced, so it can lead to concentration. It can basically lead to the more powerful voices dominating the social media, and which might not help in curbing misinformation. Rather, they can aggravate the situations at times, because the post the facts that are put up by the users, they are mostly guided by emotions, might not necessarily be based in true facts. So this cannot be seen as a good model. And even on the X, we have seen that various hate speeches incidents have taken place, like communal tensions and sort of these things, which have led to more polarization. So I believe that's a balanced approach wherein an independent and strong fact-checking units, by increasing the capacity and by increasing the people that are there, for example, we can hire more people that have strong base in integrity, strong character. So more mechanisms around these fronts. Along with that, sir, global cooperation is also required, because a business leader cannot take a decision that is impacting billions of people around the world.
So that is what Biden has expressed concerns. But the way these corporations are becoming very powerful now, and they are controlling our lives. So what should be the good model for regulating speech on social media?
Sir, I believe that firstly, sir, ethical grounding of the people in the society is required, so that we respect fraternity and we do not give hate speech out of like anger or any such things. Sir, apart from that, obviously a balanced model of regulation is required, wherein I believe that's a government and both private parties, like a PPP kind of a model, wherein they can frame laws, regulations, so that innovation is not stifled as well as the hate speech is curbed. And sir, strengthening the laws. For example, we have the hate speech laws in India, like the section 196 in BNS. However, sir, there is still ambiguity about what constitutes hate speech. So proper checks and balances and legal definitions should be in place to ensure that a comprehensive setup.
Okay, thank you so much, Lavanya. When is your interview?
Thank you, sir. So my interview is on 6th March.
Okay, thank you so much. All the best for your interview. Okay, thank you so much, sir.
Should I take over?
Yeah, Sandeep, yeah, you can do it. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Lavanya, it is election season. Tell me, how is the CEC appointed and removed? There were some changes made last year.
Sorry, sir, CC?
CEC, Chief Election Commissioner.
Sir, the government recently, the last year, passed the Chief Election Commissioner's Appointment Bill, Appointment Act of 2024. Sir, there is a search committee which is headed by the. There's a search committee which is headed by the Cabinet Secretary, if I'm not wrong. Then there's a selection committee which consists of Prime Minister, the minister nominated by him, and the leader of opposition to give a pass to the members that are selected by the search committee. Suppose that the CEC is appointed by the Union Cabinet. And regarding the removal procedures, sir, the removal is, sir, within the constitutional boundaries, wherein so special majority is required for the removal of chief election commissioners, and the other election commissioners are removed by the grant of the chief election commissioners and by the president.
Okay. So, what do you know about GDP? How is it calculated?
Sir, gross domestic product is the total goods and services that are produced within the domestic territory of a country within an year. So it can be calculated, for example, sir, we have GDP by expenditure method, which takes into consideration 5 facets. For example, the private consumption expenditure, the government expenditure, the net exports, and the investments, gross fixed investments. Sir, another method is the GVA, gross value addition method, which takes into consideration the value added at each stage of the supply chain. And sir, the third method is the income. Sorry, sir, I'm not able to recall the third method.
Let it be. So tell me, recently there have been many discussions about jobless growth. What do you understand by this jobless growth phenomenon?
So jobless growth means that although the country is growing, and especially it is driven by service sector, which contributes to 50% of the economy, but enough jobs are not being created in the economy, which is leading to unemployment and disguised unemployment in agriculture sector.
So how do you create jobs?
Sir, one is the changing in the educational reforms are required, so that we can bridge in the gap between the academia and the industria. So second is proper skilling initiatives. For example, a recent wonderful initiative by government is the PM internship scheme, wherein many companies are participating in it and they are skilling the people and giving them employments. So such kind of initiatives, and especially the other one is the Pradhan Mantri Kaushal Vikas Yojana 4.0, which is training the youth in the digital skills required for the 4th industrial revolution. Sir, apart from that, sir, more funding by the government is required on the social sector, because improving the educational parameters as well as the health parameters will lead to more cognitive development and overall development. Sir, apart from that, so manufacturing sector is one which has high employment elasticity. For example, right. Textiles, leather industry, etc. But we are still not able to capitalize on this sector. So proper land reforms, labor reforms, etc. can
right. Now you hit the nail on the head. Now come on. Now tell me one last question. What did the Supreme Court observe in a petition on the same-sex marriages? And what's your take upon it?
So Supreme Court, in a majority decision of 3:2, did not give legal recognition to the same-sex marriage because of the fact that marriage is within the broader precedents of the society, and to legislate upon is the domain of the parliament, which represents the will of the people.
Right.
So my take on this is, So because we have already decriminalized homosexuality, and I believe that homosexuality is the order of the nature, and a broader will of the society cannot discriminate against the minority, even if they are in minority, because that leads to violation of the constitutional ethos of equality and justice. So I believe that eventually I see that a legalization of same-sex marriage would be given, so that even the minority communities can enjoy their rights, and it leads to overall equality, no discrimination against them, and they can even use the benefits of the various schemes that they are not being provided now.
Okay. Thank you, Lavanya. But I would just like you to study more on this about the legal implications.
Okay,
Because the legal implications of inheritance, legal implications of divorce, legal implications of adoptions. There's so many things,
Yes, sir.
So do study that. And if this question comes up in your interview, then give a totally rounded answer. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
You have said that you are practicing Naam Jap.
Yes, sir.
What is this Naam Jap?
So Naam Jap is a practice of continuously reciting the name of the God.
Okay. And gratitude journalism?
Yes, sir.
What is it? Gratitude journaling.
Yes, sir. So gratitude journaling means that I write a few lines, I journal a few lines to showcase my gratitude to the higher power, to everything around me. So it helps me to maintain positive outlook, and it keeps me optimistic.
Okay. I will not ask you many questions, Lavanya, but tell me how many capitals in the world has a legislature?
Really sorry, sir. I'm not aware of it.
Not at all. There is no capital. Even Washington doesn't have a legislature.
Okay, sir.
We have only a governor and a mayor. Okay. You have joined fully funded Google Women Tech Mark Scholarship Australia. What is it?
Yes, sir. So, sir, this Google Women Tech Makers Scholarship Program is the program that supports the women in technology and encourage them to become leaders and role model in their field. So under this, basically we enjoy a Google retreat. So in my year, it was a retreat to the Sydney office in Australia, and around 40 women from across the world are selected for this retreat based on a rigorous coding competitions, interviews, etc. And so therein we get the opportunity to attend various live talks, exclusive talks from the industry leaders, and hands-on workshops, various coding competitions, team activities, which enhances our social capital and networking. And so also we get a stipend of around $1,000.
You have replied to very searching questions. Can I know whether abolition of Article 370 on J&K has been fruitful or a failure? A success or a failure?
Sir, it has been successful largely.
Do you think the people of J&K are happy?
Sir, I believe that yes, because post the removal of abrogation of Article 370, the economic development, the infrastructural development, even the recent G20 meeting in Srinagar, the cultural meet of in Srinagar, and various other initiatives have taken place. Even the local tourism has boosted post that, because the security conditions have improved. So overall, sir, the people, I believe, are happy. Okay.
You have said that skills should be upgraded in the end. You said, don't you feel that from schools to university, they should have a system where they identify which skill a particular student is innovative, interested, and can do wonders? Do you think it is a good idea?
So definitely it's a good idea, because that would also give more clarity to the student, because many a times students itself are they're not aware of their skills, etc. So definitely a good idea, but sir, I believe that some problems can be there in the implementation. So we need
Many universities and many colleges have started giving a extra skill education to their students. Is it a good idea?
So definitely, sir, it will help in the holistic development of the students.
Okay. You have traveled a lot and you enjoyed tennis, lawn tennis, to be
Yes.
very specific. Which are your role model in lawn tennis?
Sir, in male, it's Novak Djokovic, and in female, sir, I have Ariana Sabalenka, which is the current top players.
Okay. Be careful about the dimensions of the lawn tennis court and all that. There are 3 types of courts.
Yes.
Are you comfortable on the soil or artificial grass?
Sir, I love the artificial grass one, because the clay ones require much more like
It
challenging
requires more strength.
strength. Yes, sir.
Okay. Tell me, since you are a daughter of a government employee, how do you rate government's working?
Sir, across various fields.
Yeah.
Or- Okay, sir. Sir, I believe that sir, government is doing very good in various activities, be it in boosting the economic growth, or the social sector, or even in the national security, and even at the and pursuing the energetic diplomatic policy or the foreign policy. Because we see that in the past few years, the India's international stature has increased, and India's international stature has increased. For example, it has become the voice of the global south. It's increasing role in maintaining security in the Indo-Pacific, and even various parties, like for example the war parties, Russia, Ukraine, or even Israel, Hamas, they see India as a neutral arbitrator. So on the domestic front, I believe that the unemployment ratio has declined according to the PLFS survey, which is a good progress. So government is giving thrust on various sectors, especially on the DPI, digital public infrastructure, to ensure that India has a technological prowess and becomes developed by 2047. So on the social sector, we have various health schemes like the Pradhan Mantri Ayushman Bharat Yojana, or sir, the recent PM Shri for revamping the infrastructure of various schools. So I believe that multifaceted push is being given by government to ensure that India truly becomes Viksit by 2047.
Okay, Lavanya, good luck. Next, sleeping classes.
Okay, right. Hi, Lavanya. How are you doing?
Good morning, sir. I'm doing good.
Good morning. Okay, so Lavanya, you worked in Salesforce. Okay, so can you just describe what you used to do there?
Sorry, sir?
Can you just describe what you used to do in Salesforce?
Yes, sir. So at Salesforce, I worked on a backend project of Holdout, a project that was designed to ensure a smooth transitions for various account executives that were moving to new territories in cases of promotion, resignation, or organizational changes, etc. So it allowed them to continue manage the existing opportunities for a predefined time frame, determining using specific formulas and tools. And additionally, I contributed to defining compensation percentage splits among the team members based on their contribution to
So how do you think this same project can be implemented in the Indian government? Or do you think it should be or it shouldn't be?
Sir, it can be. For example, we see that the government is hiring various contractors or the public policy advisors. They contribute to various projects. So to ensure their due compensation in proportionate to their efforts, this kind of system can be implemented.
Okay, saying this can be not for the permanent employees?
Sir, permanent employees. Sir, I believe that government already has a
So
proper.
the pay commission has come, right? The pay commission.
Yes, sir, but I'm not the
Okay,
details of it yet.
you're not aware. Okay. There is something called a cancel culture. What is this?
Sir, cancel culture is a term mostly related to social media. So basically, it leads to suppressing the voices of few or minorities by the majority,
Okay.
which leads to a kind of self censorship on the person who is
Does it
posting.
promote accountability or it curbs free speech?
Sir, it does not promote accountability. Rather, it curbs free speech. It is
Okay.
kind of self censorship.
Oh, give me an example.
So I'm not able to recall any
Okay, no
famous
problem.
example, but if I can explain with another personal example.
It's
I
okay.
can.
It's okay. Okay. So suicide rates are increasing, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So how do we decrease it?
Sir, the National Suicide Prevention Strategy, firstly, by the government, is a good step in this direction. So I believe that firstly, we have to understand the root causes why suicide are increasing. For example, rising alcoholism or financial distress, unemployment, the family or the kind of the relationship culture that we are living in, a lot of breakups and everything. This is leading to suicides. And apart from that, very high pressure on the students to pass in various competitive examination is another factor.
Okay.
So I believe that a multi-pronged strategy is required.
Okay.
On
Now
the-
let's do one thing. Let's create a team of sociologists. Let's say a 5-member team, right? And so, whom would you like to choose to handle this problem?
Sir, from sociologists,
Yeah, right. Yeah.
sir, one is obviously Emily Durkheim.
Okay. Who else?
So secondly is Sir M.N. Srinivas.
Okay.
Third would be Sir Andre Bete.
Okay.
And fourth would be Yogendra Yadav. Yogendra Singh. Sir.
Okay. But why are you choosing these three and not anyone else?
Sir Emily Durkheim.
You still have one more, right? One more to go.
Yes, sir. Sir, even I have studied sociology, so if I can help them in any I can be there.
Right. So why have you only chosen Emily Durkheim among the sociologists and not anyone else?
Yes, sir.
Why
So
not Karl Marx?
because he is famous. Yes, sir. Sir, Emily Durkheim is famous on his suicide theory,
Okay.
wherein it not wherein
And why
he,
M.N. Srinivas and Andre Vittel?
Sir, both M.N. Srinivas and Andre Bete were experienced in having field studies. So they used to go out to the fields and have first-hand experience of the problems. So that's why.
Okay. There is somebody called G.S. Ghurye, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And what is his contribution?
Sir G.S. Ghurye, he is considered as a doyen of Indian sociologists, and he is the one who has kind of institutionalized the subject of sociology in India back in 1950s. So his prominent contributions include, firstly, the policy of integration of assimilation of tribals in India.
Okay.
Secondly, is the basically he refuted the Western sociologist concept, wherein the Western sociologists kind of viewed India as a little village with little village wherein no innovations or stagnation basically has reached the Indian society. So he kind of refuted this concept. Yes.
Yeah, Lavanya, you talked about tennis earlier. We talked about tennis with the conversation with honorable members. So I want to ask you one thing. Do you know about the Grand Slams in tennis?
Yes.
So can you tell me what
Yes,
are the
sir.
Grand Slams?
Sir, Grand Slams are the 4 tournaments in tennis, and they're considered as the most prestigious in these sports. And they are held annually in 4 different locations. One is the Australian Open, which is currently going on. It takes place in Melbourne, and it is played on a hard surface. Then it is the first Grand Slam of the year. Then second is the French Open, which takes place in Paris on a clay court, and it takes place around in May-June. So third is the Wimbledon, which takes place in London, and it is on grass surface, and it is the oldest tennis tournaments and known for its traditions like a strict dress code and strawberries with cream kind of images. And so then is the US Open. This is the last one, and it takes place in New York on a hard court, and it is known for its lively atmosphere and night matches. And it takes place, sir, on the largest tennis stadium in the world, that is the
Okay,
Arthur.
okay, that's fine. Lavanya, I want to ask one last question from you. From a sociological standpoint, how do you think that Grand Slams are pioneers or inspirational from a sociological standpoint? What one feature do you think can be inspiring from a sociological perspective? You can take your time to think.
Yes, sir. Sir, from a sociological perspective, the Grand Slams evoke a sense of respect to the winners, and they promote more awareness especially among the youth regarding or promote lawn tennis at the stage.
That's okay. I was looking for gender parity actually. So basically, all the Grand Slams have equal prize money for women and for the ladies and gentlemen singles. So all the Grand Slams winners, even if it is male or female, they get the same amount prize money. That was what I was looking for. Thank you, Lavanya.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Lavanya, your interview is on 6th March.
Yes, sir.
My advice would be that you read your current affairs very, very carefully, especially I think foreign services, your second choice. So you should read every article dealing with India's relations with its neighboring countries, India's relations with the 3 superpowers, 3 major powers, I call them major powers, that is USA, Russia and China. President Trump will take over on 20th February, so there will be some policy decisions. So far, he is not a president, but he has been announcing, but there will be definite policy decisions once he takes over. And the impact on India, the word large, that you should be. And then issues relating to women, because you being a woman candidate, they may ask you some questions. Budget would have been presented by the time your interview is over. So there would be questions on the budget. Now, another observation which I have, try to be precise in your answers, because you may be knowing more things if you're asked on a topic, but you be precise on whatever is asked, you reply to that. Because the board will like to ask you questions on different, they're testing your personality, questions on different things. And read about Delhi, what is happening, constitutional crisis has, the Supreme Court has given different decisions regarding relationship between Lieutenant Governor and the elected government of Delhi. So you should be knowing. And similarly in J&K, what is happening, because there also similar arrangement is there now. So I think with this advice, I wish you all the best. Anyone would like to add?
Yes, sir. Lavanya,
Yes, sir.
so as sir has told, your answers are too long.
Yes, sir.
In 1 or 2 questions, the member pointed out that you have hit the nail means after quite some time, when you had almost spoken almost 10 sentences. So you have to give the core of the answer in the first 2 sentences, and then you can add on a bit of it, right? A bit
Yes.
more. You have to be very precise, crisp, and the answer you are giving quoting Constitution and other facts. So it looks as if you have crammed these answers, right?
Okay, sir.
At times you fumble to recall what you had crammed. So try to be natural, okay? Because this is a kind of conversation, not exactly test of your knowledge. Otherwise, you are all have good knowledge base and there are no knowledge gaps at least. Okay, you will be doing well in your interview, but pay attention to these issues only. Okay, thank you so much. All the best for your interview.
Thank you, sir.
Good luck, Lavanya, and just give rounded up responses. Okay, holistic. You'll do well.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Any report?
Jagjit sir, anything to add? Puri sir, mute is Puri sir. Anything to add? Acha, Lavanya, you were thinking just
Lavanya.
before. Sorry, sir.
Yes, sir.
As three of us have told you that your answers are long. A specific question was asked to you by an honorable member about the appointment of CEC.
Yes, sir.
And you went on to even telling the procedure to remove him. That's
Sir.
not fair.
Sir.
It was very long.
Yes.
Even the questions put by three other gentlemen, you was very, very long. And the real answer came in the last three sentences.
Yes, sir.
So otherwise, you are quite good. My query will be, my advice will be concentrate on the budget and
Yes,
the Delhi elections, and read more about Delhi also, because you are a Delhiite. Its problems, municipal corporation problem, and request is to read like Namjap. You read newspapers every day for even half an hour.
Yes, sir.
Your knowledge is very good. Your grasp is good. But sometimes you miss the bus. That can be not liable. And many times Mr. Sandeep sir had to say, stop it.
Yes.
No.
Yes, sir.
Small answers, cogent answers. And it should look like very coming from your mouth in a very simple way. Lastly, don't imagine an answer. Don't pressurize your brain at that time. If you don't know, say, I don't know.
Okay, sir.
Bhavna Garg, one of the topper in IAS, she's a Punjab cadre. She could not read any newspaper for 3 months. She had a very bad accident.
Okay.
She went into the interviewer and he was number 3 or number 4 in India. She said, I don't know, I could not read it. Except what she has read 3 months back, she replied. So it is not necessary to reply to every question being asked. Say very politely, I don't know. I'm sorry, I don't know. Okay. Then the Mr. Kuller and company.
See, eye movement में Lavanya, we are like when you're thinking ना, आंखें ऊपर जा रही हैं.
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
and बहुत clearly हो रहा है ये. We have to make sure this doesn't happen. So I understand it's online, but when you're in the interview room, so see दो लोगों के बीच में. Okay, right? Obviously, eye contact के time पे you can't think when you're having an eye contact with somebody. So you just see their shoulders or just on the sides. ठीक है? उनको भी लगेगा सामने ही देख रहे हैं, but still you can do that. अच्छा, take them to your strength area. Okay, so what was happening was you were answering questions which perhaps you shouldn't have answered. Okay, what's our strength area? We want to take them to sociology. We want to take them to computer science, right? And you are allowing them to discuss jobless growth. Okay, don't allow them to take you in a place where, okay, it's uncomfortable answer, but then maybe the strategy can be, let's answer the economy question sociologically, perhaps. Okay, so that we take them to a sociological discussion where we are more comfortable, right? Like that way. The other thing is the preciseness of the answers obviously can be done by rehearsals, so I think that's fine. And the other thing is say I don't know. Okay, be comfortable saying abhi tak tu comfortable nahi hai. You're not comfortable saying I don't know.
Yes.
Okay, now you want to answer everything. This is not mains. 20 में से 20 नहीं करने हैं.
Correct, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Right. Yeah.
The same thing, basically the elaborate answers. So I asked you about 4 Grand Slam. Just name the 4 Grand Slam and get done with it so that I can move ahead. That preciseness is needed in those answers. Otherwise, it's very good. All the very best.
We have time, so we'll do it.
Also, the dress code, Lavanya.
Yes, sir. I'll wear a sari.
Thank you. Good luck.
Thank
Thank
you. All
you.
the best, Lavanya.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.